Hello my people, how you doing? Okay, so on the first episode of Young Adult Fun Show, we have with us a student of Redeemers University, our very own Owojegbe Mayokun, the founder of Archbishop News. And yeah, he's here with us to share his success story on Archbishop News. So how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. And you?
I can see I'm good, I'm good. Okay, so how do you feel being here?
I feel honored, sincerely.
That's nice, that's nice.
Thank you.
Let us... Growing up as a child, did you have passion for writing?
I didn't really see myself as a writer for a long time. In fact, I guess it was in GSS, it was in GSS when I first began to think of myself as maybe I can write. And that was because back in my secondary school, Redeemers High School, a boarding house, I applied to join the choir, so I had to write a letter to the choir coordinator. So she called me and was like, "Did you write this letter yourself?" I was like, "Yes." What's wrong? She was like, "This is really good." And I'm like, "It's just a letter. What's in there?" So from that point, I kind of had the consciousness that maybe there's something there. And sometimes I'll submit assignments. My teachers would be like, they'll commend you for what you've written, that yours was standing out. Yeah. And when I got to SS2, I went for this competition, NAFEST, National Festival of Arts and Culture, where I represented my school for a writing competition. So along that line, those things made me feel like, okay, maybe I do have a gift in writing, but I didn't discover it until around that GSS1.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so do you have any mentor? Growing up, did you have somebody you looked up to when you discovered that, okay, there's something?
Yes, that's the thing. Like I said, I wasn't really seeing myself as a writer, so to speak. So I didn't bother looking for mentorship.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so what brought about the whole idea of Archbishop News?
Well, that started off from a project we had to do in class. There's this course we took. It's called Online Journalism, taught by one of our lecturers, Mrs. Moyo Alade. So she made us create a blog. She made us post on it. We had to come up with the concept ourselves. So I felt, well, let's do something. Initially, it wasn't necessarily about Redeemers University. It was meant to be like a place for me to post articles about great men of God, biographies of people like... I had Archbishop Benson Daosa in mind when I brought up their name. I had other men of God like Pastor Adeboye, Bishop Oyedepo, and the concept was like, well, let's just be posting their biographies. So that led to me creating that. But of course, the purpose of the blog has changed since I finished that course.
I think she helped your ministry.
Well, yeah, she did, for real. She did actually.
Okay. So, when you had your idea, when everything came to mind, rather, what were the steps you took in achieving Archbishop? What were the steps you took?
Well, let's say technically she made the course so that we had to create the blog. We had to set it up, we had to post on it. That would have been the basis for our scoring also. She made us take the steps, so to speak. The only thing is, after she finished marking the course and I finished, it was a choice whether to keep it running or to just back out of it. So I basically just kept on doing it after the course was over.
Oh, okay. So how did you feel at that moment? I'm doing this, yes, it's happening. How did you feel?
Well, it wasn't like I came into Redeemers University planning to start a blog or anything. So, but the only thing is, after doing it for a while, initially it was just me and a few friends, and my friends kind of like had this vibe to like, you write very well, let's keep doing this. So like at a point it began to grow more and more. I began to see people I'd never seen before just walking up to me telling me, "You're the Archbishop guy, right?" Because they met me through my friends, got to know about me, and I started feeling like, okay, it's like some people are noticing what I'm doing out there. And it is what it is today, thanks to my friends, thanks to God. It feels good, having someone come up to you and say, "We've seen what you're doing on the blog and we like it." So
actually,
it's a
I've
good
seen
thing.
what you're doing, it's nice. Like,
thank you.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Okay, so how frequently do you post on your blog?
Well, that question is funny because now I'm in final year and you know how it can be like, but thank God we have more people working with me now. So on an average, we try to post at least, no matter how bad it is, maybe twice a week. Okay. Some weeks we can have so much more, but man, our best times are during the holiday. We post so much, then during Ramsa week too, back-to-back posting.
Okay. So you mentioned you have people working with you. How has that been?
Okay, I said something about my friends. They kind of, I'm blessed with very loyal and energetic friends. So one thing is, when we started this thing, I didn't have so many people on my contact list to be sharing my stories with, but my friends kept sharing and reposting. In the process, we had some people messaging me that they wanted to either write for the blog or be interviewed or feature one way or the other. And sometimes among those people, we get people who are willing to do it for a longer term. So yes, we've had a couple of them like that, and we have a group chat where we interact, and they're really lovely people doing it out of their own personal time and sacrifice, putting in their talents.
I get that kind really of feeling, like it's very nice.
It is very nice, very nice.
Okay, so having to work with your friends that support you, how is the feeling? How does it feel like?
Oh, the feeling is great because it's like a community of like-minded people. They are funny people, they are smart people, they are people who are willing to work, who are willing to sacrifice just to produce beautiful content. So that has been very wonderful.
That's nice. How to get your information?
Well, that depends on what we are working on. Some of the info we need at times we can simply get by interacting with students or thinking of stuff. But when it comes to factual news, well, thank God I was editor of Run Chronicle and Run Tell in my department. That gave me the opportunity to meet certain members of the management, and we became friends. For some of them, we even chat. So sometimes when I need to go that extra length, I just chat them up or I walk up to their offices to get the information I need. And it really depends on the story you're working on. Towards the exams last semester, we had to do this article about the hiking diesel price. So I had to walk up to the Directorate of Works, get questions about how much. Yes, so how much is a barrel of diesel? How many hours I'm going to apply for? Sometimes we go to Ronsab, we ask questions. It depends on what we're working on, and to make sure it's factual and correct.
Yeah, true. Okay, so is Archbishop news only for Redeemers University students?
Yes, basically for Redeemers University students. Maybe in the future we might expand, but for now it's basically for Redeemers University students.
Okay, so what are the contents? What can we see in Archbishop? What can we read?
Anything and everything, so far it conforms to the rules of the school, so far it's exciting, so far it's entertaining. Anything from poems to stories, fiction and non-fiction, news about school, creative write-ups, movie reviews. We did one about Far From Home recently and people liked it. Interviews. When it comes to news, updates, pictures, fashion interviews, everything and anything you find there.
That's really good.
Thank you.
I love it. Okay, so writing is a part of mass comm, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you have to say to mass communication students?
Well, yeah, I can't deny the fact that a part of writing comes as being a gift. Not everybody can conjure words together the way some of us
like me,
do.
I can't write.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm not a broadcast person too. Like, that's your area.
Yeah,
so what I would just say is find what you really enjoy doing. Find your special part in mass communication and improve on it. I'm not the only one doing well in mass communication. We have people running YouTube channels like you and they're doing really great. So even if it's not writing, you can find your own spot and build on it.
Okay, so I want to ask this question. Is Archbishop News a dream come true? Is it a dream come true?
Well, like I kind of explained earlier, it wasn't like I had it in mind as a dream. It kind of came up from an assignment. I feel God had it in mind.
Did you see it like, okay?
Well, it does bring some satisfaction because you look around and you're like, it's like I'm doing something in this school that is worth it. Because sometimes I've had to interact with staff members and they tell me like, I read something you wrote on the blog, and I'm like, my blog. I get that kind of feeling sometimes. So yes, I feel when I leave this school in a couple of months, by God's grace, I feel I will look back because it's going to continue. That's the plan.
Definitely.
I feel I'll look back. Amen. I feel I'll look back and be like, well, God started this through me and it feels good. I think that would be
believe in you. What do you have to say to students about their dreams? A lot of students have dreams. They want to do this, they want to do this, even within Redeemers University. So what do you have to say to students?
Well, you just have to start first because if you don't start a thing, then you cannot improve on it. And if you don't start a thing, it cannot grow. Sincerely, I didn't know Archbishop would reach where it is today. It just started as there was a time it was just me. Like I will post, I will read, me alone. I was my editor, I was my own biggest fan.
Very discouraging.
Then little by little, like 10 friends, 20 friends, it got to a point like so many people. I mean, people come and say things like, Archbishop, we are seeing what you're doing in the school. I'm like, this school? Great. I was doing this in my department, so just like me and a few friends to start with. So that kind of stuff.
Having friends can push
It
push
can
whatever
actually.
you have.
You can never tell the limits, and that's
True.
the beautiful thing about media. If you post, now we are into memes and some other content because
Okay,
we moved on.
Yeah, I think
Instagram
yes,
recently.
and
I was begging you, please follow us. We have a lot of great things coming for you guys for you. So like sometimes you post a meme and I'm getting messages from my friends like, I saw this thing from a friend in another university. So it's kind of a thing you can't really measure. You just have to start it. It can really blow. We have some nice dancers in school.
Yeah,
And sometimes I see them on Instagram. It's not just within run. People are like really noticing them. So just start. Some people will laugh.
TikTok too. I see.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We have a lot of wonderful content creators. You just start. Everybody has his own audience. That's what I believe. So just start and God will help you also.
Amen. Okay, thank you so much for
Thank you for having
for being
me.
part of this show.
My pleasure.
We're happy to have you. I personally am happy to have you.
I'm happy to be
and
here.
we hope to see your face more.
No problem.